Hello and welcome to Taste the Meal with Your Ears. This is the place where we explore inspiring books and powerful ideas in personal development. In today's episode, we'll be talking book Master Your Emotions, a practical guide to overcome negativity and better manage your feelings, written by Thibaut Maurice. In this episode, we'll dive into Chapter 3, titled The Nature of Emotions. All right, let's jump right in with a question that might make you pause. Are negative emotions actually bad for you? I mean, we're all taught to chase happiness, right? To push away sadness or anger. But what if that whole way of thinking is just wrong?
To really get to the bottom of that, we have to start by rethinking what emotions even are. And it all boils down to two foundational truths that can totally change the game when it comes to how you deal with your feelings.
So, truth number one is incredibly simple, but so powerful. Emotions are temporary. They're like visitors, They show up, hang out for a bit, and then they leave. They aren't you. Trying to be happy 100% of the time, that's just setting yourself up for failure. The real goal isn't to never feel bad, but to remember that even the toughest feelings will eventually pass. And that brings us to the second truth, which is absolutely crucial. The raw feeling of sadness or anger, that's not what usually causes the deep suffering. No, the real pain comes from the story we attach to it. It's those thoughts like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way, or what's wrong with me for being so angry? That's the stuff that really hurts. Okay, so if negative feelings aren't the enemy we make them out to be, then what are they for? Well, it turns out they have a really important job. They're not just random noise in our heads, they are signals. And the secret is learning how to actually listen to what they're trying to tell us. Here's a fantastic way to think about it. Imagine a negative emotion is just like physical pain. I mean, if you touched a hot stove, you wouldn't get mad at the pain, right? You'd see it as a super clear signal telling you to pull your hand back. Emotional pain is doing the exact same thing. So, just like that physical pain, a negative feeling first signals that, hey, something here needs your attention. Second, it's a nudge. It's pushing you to do something about it, to make a change. And finally, once you actually deal with the real issue, that initial pain is what leads you to grow and to heal. It's actually a gift. But let's be real. If emotions are just helpful signals, why do they feel so all-consuming sometimes? Why is it so hard to just snap out of it? Well, it's because our emotions are kind of like master illusionists. Let's pull back the curtain and see how they cast their spell on us. So the first trick in their playbook is what the author calls the emotional filter. When you're in a bad mood, it's like you're wearing a pair of dark, gloomy sunglasses. The world itself hasn't changed one bit, but your experience of it is completely different. Suddenly, your favorite song is annoying and nothing seems fun anymore. This chart right here is the perfect illustration. Look at the left side. When you're excited, you're confident, you're open, you're a go-getter. But on the right, in a depressed state, with the exact same life, the same job, the same friends, self-doubt takes over. It's the same reality, just viewed through a totally different filter. And here's the second trick, which makes things even more intense. Your emotions act like powerful magnets. When you feel down, your mind doesn't just see things negatively. It actively starts pulling in other thoughts that are on the same negative frequency. A bad thought about work suddenly reminds you of a fight you had last week, which then reminds you of how you're not exercising enough. See how it works? As the great Eckhart Tolle puts it, a vicious circle builds up between your thinking and the emotion. They feed each other. It's a feedback loop from hell, really. A negative thought creates a bad feeling, and that bad feeling fuels even more negative thoughts. It's a powerful downward spiral. So, now that we know about the filter and the magnet, the question is, how do we break the spell? How do we get our power back? Well, it's not about fighting the emotion head-on. It's about dismantling the tricks it uses to control us. And the biggest key is to stop this magnetic clustering of all your problems. Think about it. You have a tough day at work, and suddenly your mind goes, and I'm single, and I'm out of shape, and my car is making a funny noise. Your brain just took 3 or 4 completely separate issues and bundled them into one giant, overwhelming monster. The way out is to practice compartmentalizing. To learn to look at each issue on its own. Deal with the work problem. Then later, think about your dating life. When you look at each challenge by itself, you realize they're almost always manageable. It's the messy pileup that makes us feel hopeless. And you get better at this by becoming a detective of your own mind. The next time you come out of a bad mood, don't just forget about it. Get curious. Ask yourself these questions. What really set me off? What was the story I started telling myself? When you start to see the patterns, you start to see through the whole illusion.
Now let's take this a huge step further. This is a bit of a mind bender, but what if we could change our entire relationship with our problems by realizing that, in a very real sense, they don't actually exist outside of our minds?
Just think about how much energy we burn on our problems. Dale Carnegie pointed out that for a healthy person with a desk job, almost all of their fatigue is emotional. It's not the work that's wiping us out, it's the worry, the stress, the drama we create around the work. Okay, here's the core of this big idea. Think about any problem you have. It can't exist right now, in this exact second. It can only exist as a memory of something that happened in the past or a fear of something that might happen in the future. And where do the past and future live? Only in your mind. Second, a problem needs your focus to survive. It's like a fire that needs oxygen. If you're not actively thinking about it, then for you, in that moment, it's gone. Your attention is what brings it to life. And finally, a situation is just a situation. It's neutral. It only becomes a problem when your mind slaps that big, heavy label on it. Without that label, it's just a set of circumstances that you need to deal with. Which leaves us with this one final, really powerful question to chew on. What if the entire battle, all the stress, all the anxiety, all the suffering, is only happening inside your mind? What would change for you tomorrow if you truly, deeply believed that? See you for the next episode where we will explore Chapter 4, titled The Impact of Sleep on Your Mood. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support truly encourages us to keep creating more inspiring content for you.